Kochie's Business Builders is proudly brought to you by our partners Dell and KPMG, who are helping small businesses grow.
Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, we meet the entrepreneurs serving up mouth-watering meals from Aussie producers. A real estate mogul needs our help to thrive, plus how you can make play part of your everyday. G'day and welcome to Kochie's Business Builders, where we look at the issues facing small business owners, come up with practical advice, tips and inspiration to help them succeed. Joining me today as co-host is Ros Weedman. When it comes to building trust and brand reputation, Ros is an expert. In fact, she wrote the book on it. Enhance Your Reputation is Ros's practical guide on how to build a brand people want to work for, buy from and invest in. It draws on her experience and steps business owners through how to leverage their purpose to build credibility. Ros, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here, Kochie.
Oh, reputation and trust. So hard to build, so easy for it to disappear and crumble. How do you protect your brand and reputation?
So when the brand is damaged or the reputation is damaged, the first thing to do is to restore trust, and that requires communication. A lot of companies, when something happens, they don't communicate. And what's created is an information vacuum, if you like. And what happens then, in the absence of information, is that people create their own assumptions, and that can diminish trust and reputation even more. So when the brand is damaged, the business really does need to get on the front foot.
So is that why critical reviews, say on TripAdvisor or Google, when a company answers them and answers them well, are more powerful than the criticism itself?
People know when something is fake. People's radars go up with fake news, false information. And so, in fact, the trust research is showing that fake news and false information is at the highest level of concern right at the moment. So if you're doing something that's disingenuous, your trust is going to plummet.
That is great advice. Ros, terrific tips there, thank you. I'm keen to get your thoughts on our next business, Inspire Realty. Colin Lee is the founder of Inspire Realty, a property investment business he built during the pandemic. Business has been booming for Colin and his turnover has doubled. But all that growth has come with its own issues. Ros, strong growth is great, but it builds pressures, doesn't it, and can lead to mistakes.
Businesses always need to start with the foundations, and that's why I think getting those culture pillars in, like purpose and values, are so important, because they end up guiding strategic direction, brand positioning, as well as decisions around, you know, what's a good fit for the brand in terms of prospective employees as well as customers. And once you've got those in place, then you can integrate them and align them through with your communications and marketing, as well as the customer experience and corporate citizenship as well.
Great advice, Ros. Thank you for that. Now, we sent KBB business strategist Matt Alderton, founder of BX, to pay a visit to Colin to see if he can help him with some advice around the systems, people and processes Inspire Realty needs to sustain its growth.
Hey Colin, thanks so much for having us here at your office in Sydney today. I'm really excited to be here actually and find out more about Inspire Realty.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit more about what you do?
So we're a property advisory and a buyer's agency. Essentially what I do is I help my clients to invest in the right property at the right time to build a profitable property portfolio.
There's a lot of competition in your market space. Tell me, how is Inspire Realty different to a lot of other property agencies out there?
I'm actually a qualified property investment advisor. I went through the whole qualification and they took elements of financial advisory because property at the moment is not a regulated industry. So what I do is I sit down with my clients, I understand what objectives, what are their priorities, and then make sure that the property that I'm buying for them matches what their priorities are. So I essentially map out and model out their property journey for them. We're a young team. All of us are either in our 30s or 40s. We're all property investors ourselves. Our passion and purpose is to inspire our clients to think bigger and to say, hey, if these people from Inspire Realty have done it, I think you can do it too.
Inspire Realty's had some great growth over the past 3 years.
Yes.
What have been some of the challenges that you've had with that growth?
In the first couple of years, I was basically a one-man band, so I did everything from admin to sales to marketing to website development. I did everything. I didn't have the systems, I didn't have the processes, I didn't have the manuals, I didn't have the operations. I didn't have anything to maintain that growth. And so as I grew, I think that really just taken my business to a whole new level.
But it's created some growth pains for you though, at the same time, right?
It does. Yeah. I feel like sometimes I'm just putting out fires. Now I've got more clients than I can handle, and that's a different problem. That's a good problem for businesses. It just means that I'm spending a little less time with my clients. So it's to do with managing expectations. That's the only thing I can do now. So instead of turning around a client within days of them making an inquiry, sometimes it takes a week because I'm the only one doing the consult at the moment. So it's real challenging.
For today, I'd love to spend a little bit more time with you and take you through some of the strategies that you can implement to systemize and scale your business.
Okay.
I think that's going to give you some real great insight into how to really grow your business from here on in. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Thank you.
Welcome back to Kochie's Business Builders. Now, research from KPMG Australia has found that 80% of customers now prefer to buy from brands that align with their values. It's an area called ESG, which stands for Environmental, Social and Governance, and it's crucial to the success of businesses in the future. Another KPMG survey of business leaders has found that just 57% of those surveyed feel ready to implement their environmental policies today. So how can we get there faster? To tell us more and to guide us along, I've got Christina Kipper, Partner in Charge Mid-Market at KPMG Australia. Christina, good to see you again. Now,
See you too.
ESG, why is it so important to the future of all businesses?
There's an increasing expectation that businesses consider not just what they do, but how they do it. Stakeholders such as customers, employees, and investors are looking at the impact a business has on the environment, as well as its exposure to environmental risks, how it practices social responsibility, and if it has the right governance structures in place. So whether it is competing for market share, attracting talent, or securing capital, ESG needs to be part of your narrative.
Yeah, it's interesting, Christina, isn't it? Because it's not just customers, it's actually staff that buy into this. They want to know your policies too, aren't they? It's part of your recruitment and retention.
Absolutely, that's right. In fact, our recent survey shows that mid-market and smaller companies really see the link between ESG and talent attraction and retention. So they're becoming more deliberate in how they align their strategy to what their employees and customers care about. So that could be the types of products they develop or how they manufacture them. There's also evidence that the ones who are authentic in building diverse teams and a truly inclusive culture perform better.
Give us some tips on how, say, small to medium-sized enterprises can start down the ESG journey.
To start with, let me say that the successful ones really focus on ESG not as a cost but as an opportunity to create long-term value and competitive advantage. To start the process, you really need to understand what your stakeholders need and what's important to them. Then set your ambition and work out how you're going to measure performance. Once you have a plan, you can start to implement it and address the gaps. And what we're seeing, what's interesting, is that in those early stages, that people discover they're already doing great things, you know, even though they may not have labeled them as ESG. So in those initial steps, they can unlock value before they even start to implement additional programs and create a roadmap that they can communicate to the market. So I encourage everyone to start the journey now.
Christina, good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me, Kochie.
Next up, our tech correspondent Val Quinn takes us through Dell's latest tech for your workplace in the new year.
The major trend in office tech is all about working from anywhere with high-fidelity devices that help you stay connected and collaborate. So let's take a look at what's new from Dell Technologies. To start, we're seeing webcams with far improved video quality. Dell's ultra-sharp webcams, for example, capture 4K videos in high dynamic range. And it can see better in low light too, and has a super slim mount that won't block your screen. So now if you're on the go, Dell's speakerphone with multi-port adapter slips easily into your bag and can create a group conference just about anywhere. It doubles as a handy USB-C port hub too, adding connections for an external display, portable hard drives, and more. We're also seeing monitors that can do so much more. Dell's 34-inch curved video conferencing monitor has an expansive wraparound screen to help you focus, a pop-up full HD webcam, noise-canceling mic and speakers, and even a one-touch Microsoft Teams button to start up a video conference. Or if you need the power of dual-screen productivity while on the move, this 14-inch portable monitor has an ultra-slim and lightweight design, adjustable stand, and it's powered by your laptop. Speaking of which, laptops are getting smarter too. Dell's Latitude 9520 with Express Connect can sense and automatically connect to a strong access point in the office or securely log in with just your face. With today's tech, there's just so much you can do in or away from the office. For more inspiration, head to dell.com.au/smallbiz.
Hi, I'm Rupert Muir from EUX Digital Agency, and I'm going to give you some tips on how to segment your email marketing database with MailChimp. There are some super smart ways that brands segment their email marketing. For example, if we've broken them down into age and gender and a specific product, then we can send tailored email marketing to that person specifically. You can get super sophisticated with your segmentation in MailChimp. You could look for males who are 30 years old and have spent $100 in New South Wales in the last 30 days. Some other smart ways which brands use segmentation and automation is, for example, if you have a subscription-based service on your website and a customer's coming to the end of their run of the subscription, you can preset an automation in MailChimp and you can send them an email marketing basically when you're asleep. So a simple example of how you could personalize your email marketing would be to send somebody an email on their birthday, perhaps, if you've already segmented that and you've got their birthday. Once a year, you can send them perhaps a discount code offering them to re-engage and come back and purchase on your store. So these are some of the powerful things you can do with database segmentation. Head over to MailChimp.com and check them out.
Hi, I'm Karen Levecki, and I'm the founder and creative director of Land of Plenty Food Co. I've always had a passion for food. I've been in hospitality since I finished school. I was walking to my job in a hotel in the city one morning and had an epiphany that the world needed more dumplings. It was 20 years ago, so at the time there were no dumplings available like they are today. It was what was available in Chinatown and in Asian supermarkets, so I decided to create the first range of dumplings that were designed specifically for the Western market. 6 years ago, we realised we were having an identity crisis. We've been Lotus and Ming for so long, but we were so much more than an Asian dumpling company. So we created the Land of Plenty Food Co., which is the umbrella brand for all of the brands that we've created. We've got Dim Sum & Co., Bondi Yogurt, Paloma Pops, Rustic, Our Family Table, and the list keeps growing because I can't stop creating. I am the creator and the innovator, and I set the tone for what direction we go, and together with my team, we work to create beautiful best of products in their category. People's expectation of food has changed so much. I think people have become more aware of where their food comes from, how it's produced, the quality of it. The likes of MasterChef and shows like that have taught everybody to be a lot more passionate and considerate of the food. Breaking into the market is always a challenge. In the early days, I set myself a goal of contacting at least 10 people a day. So I was on the phone cold calling, non-stop all day, knocking on doors and making sure that people heard who I was and what I was offering. I also spent every weekend going out and doing tastings because it was a new product in a new market. We have an Australian first sourcing policy. We like to use as much Australian produce as possible wherever possible. There is so much produce that's beautiful available on our doorstep that we focus on celebrating those ingredients and making them the hero of our products. Over the course of the last few years, we've actually acquired 2 small businesses and brought them into the umbrella of the Land of Plenty Food Co. And we're going to continue to acquire businesses and consolidate them into one big, beautiful business. There's so much to be excited about for the future of Land of Plenty.
Hi, my name's Katrina McCarter. I'm a business coach, author, international speaker and podcast host. Today, I'm wanting to talk to you about the importance of play and why play is a winning strategy for business. But first, what is play? Play is something that gives you real joy and excitement, and it's not linked to a particular goal or outcome. Why would you be interested in play? Well, firstly, it can actually increase your motivation, your creativity, your productivity, and it can have great benefits for your health and physical well-being. The more you play, the healthier your business is and the happier you are. So how can you play more? Well, first up, I would say it's really important to schedule time in to play, much like you would a business meeting. The next thing is, can you create more time for play? Are there low-value tasks that you're doing that could be potentially outsourced? I've spent the last 12 months really prioritising play in my life and business, and I can tell you my business is in great shape and I'm much happier as a person. Wouldn't you want that too?
Now let's head back with Matt Alderton as he outlines what Colin Lee and the team at Inspire Realty need to do next if they want to continue their growth trajectory.
One of the issues, or really I would say a challenge that I'm facing in my business at the moment, is to systemize my internal process just so that I can be more efficient and effective. What sort of advice would you give me to be able to effectively grow that and to build a better internal system?
So one of the keys to growing and scaling your business is having a strong foundation to your business. And your systems and processes that you establish are the keys, absolutely. As you know, I have a Subway restaurant background. The reason I got into Subway was it had that systems and processes. The operating manual for that business was the absolute key to giving me strong growth and scalability. I didn't have to be the key man in my business. And that's going to help you stop being the key person in your business and step out of the day-to-day operations and start working on your business as opposed to in your business. So the one thing I would recommend you do is have a great place to host your systems and procedures manuals. And one of the easiest places to have is like a Google site where you can have like a basic structure, all nicely site mapped out, where people can go to specific procedures for certain elements of the operating of the business. And then anytime you have a task, like you might use a task management software or tool, you have that procedure referenced in that task, that recurring task. So they don't have to go find it each time. If you have to hand that over to a new person, they can then have that simply connected from there.
I know where my clients are. They're generally working in big corporates, in companies. So I'm looking for partners or people that are deeply entrenched in those sort of target audience. How do I build strong relationships to be that trusted partner, so to say, with these people, so that I can continue to reach deep into my partnership?
There's a number of different types of partners you can work with. For you, the best type of referral partners are really going to be people that have your client base. Yeah. So if you can tap into these other businesses that have all of your clients already, but they don't compete with you specifically, it means you can leverage their clients and the relationships they have with their clients to get more clients across to you and vice versa. Yeah. So basically every time they're in front of their clients, they're prospecting on your behalf, their client base. And likewise, every time you're in front of your clients, you're prospecting on behalf of your clients.
Matt, that was absolutely brilliant. Thank you for your time and for sharing of your tips and strategies and a bit of your wisdom.
It's been a pleasure.
Now, Roz, Matt makes a really good point on the power of collaborative marketing. But gee, you've got to be really picky with your collaborator as well, don't you?
When you start collaborating with other businesses, reputational risk goes up because suddenly they could be representing your brand.
How did you choose your partners?
Well, I have a few criteria for picking. You know, I make sure, firstly, I really know them and like them and trust them. And then I really make sure we're a match as far as purpose, values, beliefs, work ethic, you know, and that we're on the same page as far as getting the right outcome for the client.
Roz, thanks so much for joining us on the show today. It's been terrific having you. And remember, if you're looking for small business tips or the latest news and expert advice, then you can find them online at kochiesbusinessbuilders.com.au or follow Kochie's Biz on Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta and Twitter. We'll see you next time. Next week on Kochie's Business Builders, the voice expert who will make you pitch perfect, the local pub looking to bring back the music, plus the entrepreneur who's making injuries history for athletes.